Hello, everyone. Welcome to our
And
second
hello.
class.
So we're here for the second session of Fast and Simple course creation. And this one is easy strategies for building your buyer audience and crafting an offer they can't resist. All right, so it's my turn to do a little bit of housekeeping for you guys. And so after today, we're going to meet for two more Tuesdays, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. That's on March 26th and April 4th. And just so as an update, the recording slideshow list, the resource list, and handouts for last week are already in your account. The transcripts, Ron says, should be ready a little later today because he's doing some really good editing of it to make it dividing it into sections and adding a few things so it's much more usable for you. Should be today, but let's just say tomorrow just in case. And for this week, actually, the resource list and the checklist, the worksheet is already there for you, even the slideshow. So if you love having those things to follow along, Yusuf, if you scroll up a little bit, he did put the members area in the chat for you, and you can always grab your stuff there. And if you ever lose any of this stuff, that's where you go. You just go back to your account at eKitHub, and we are saving everything for you there. All right.
Right. So
Oh,
I still
I'm
have
going to
my
disappear now too.
yeah, I still have my microphone on. After this, I'll turn it off until my part comes. But just
Okay.
to give you a schedule at a glance. So week one, we already did we covered insider method for researching and developing your get paid before you create it product, which is done. Week two, which is today, we're going to cover easy strategies for building your buyer audience and crafting an offer that they can't resist. And again, it's going to be done today, so stay tuned. Week three, we'll be covering how to create a buzz, putting together and delivering your simple but high impactful course with Printable. That is on March 28th. And week four, we'll go into talk about easy systems to keep profiting from your course materials and printables long after the work is done. So I'm going to mute my microphone
Okay.
now.
You don't have to. I mean, you can
Okay.
interrupt anytime you want.
Okay.
Not an interruption.
All
All
right.
right. I do see that Connie is also making sure she's muted because she's having something crunchy and does not want to disturb others. Thank you very much for that, Connie.
Thank you.
All right, so where we are in the course now and where you'll be after you do your homework today, what you'll be able to do. So by now you should have completed your product research, decided on a topic, picked a date, and told your customers when to expect that. So I am wondering, has anyone done all this stuff? Please do brag about yourself in the chat and we'll catch up with you about that. If not, now's the great time to do that, because after today you'll have if you were a little nervous, it was your first time, maybe you wanted to wait, but after today you really are ready to go. So that will be good. I think you're good to go. You should just go ahead and do it. And then today we're going to learn how to build your audience and how to craft an offer they can't resist. And that should say Anne. All right. And if you are tech challenged, because this was something that came up before that, people were worried about that technology, don't worry. We're going to introduce our bare bones system, which, gives you the simplest, easiest way to do it. Even if you don't have a website, if you have your own technology, then you go with yours. Don't worry about that, changing that. It's the least important thing. What's important is that you're building your audience and you're having things. Now, not to say that's not important, but it doesn't matter how you do it. You just get it done, and we'll show you. Yusuf is going to give kind of a quick overview of the technology during the session, but he has made, just like last week, he made in-depth, step-by-step videos for you if you need that extra assistance.
All right. So lesson two is going to be about easy strategies for building your buyer audience and crafting an offer that they can't resist. Are you ready? Or
I'm ready. Karen did the research but didn't notify anyone. And Syrian has an idea. Okay, come on. We can do a little more than that. After today, I hope that you'll be more prepared and ready to shout it out. All right, I am ready. So I'm going to go.
yeah, let's do it.
All right. So today's lesson is going to cover attracting your audience. That will be my part of the session. And then we're going to talk about crafting your offer to set you apart and make people want to be in your simple but high value class. That's going to be me again. And then Yusuf is going to talk about the software requirements, basically the things you know, and the things you need to put it together. And whether you use our bare bones system or you fill it in with the blanks that you want, like the software that you want. But he's going to give you an overview of what you need, and then is actually going to walk through setting the technology of setting it up and getting ready for opening it for registration. All right, so there's also templates and tools for this lesson. So there are extra things in your members area that are going to help you a lot and really encourage you to take advantage of these, because it's going to be way easier to implement everything. The first thing you'll notice is that there was a persuasion and copywriting guide and swipe files. So if you don't know the basics of copywriting and things like that, it's going to give you a really good overview. It talks about using this kind of copywriting skills to create sales material, but also in a content-based approach too, because when you're trying to sell something, you're obviously trying to be persuasive and sell. But even when you are just using content, you are also, the more you use persuasive techniques in that, the more likely people are going to listen to you. They're going to stay paying attention, and they're going to take action on what you say to do next. So definitely download that, read through the guide. I actually recommend, there's a bunch of swipe files, and I'm going to show you them a little bit later. I recommend you print those out and keep them close, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. You all have the worksheet, checklist, and resource list. So it's all the links that we're going to mention, unless something surprising comes up, which might happen. So the worksheet and checklist will keep you on track with all the steps. Yusuf also has the extra videos for you. And then we do have templates, sales page, opt-in page, and thank you page template, and then the new sign up template that you'll be able to use and just fill in the blanks. And all of that is with the goal of eliminating procrastination, building accountability, and helping you get to launch much faster. So part one of this lesson is attracting your audience. And I want to say that audience is everything. And it should be an ongoing activity where you do at least one thing every day to grow your audience, even if you have an audience already. Because that, over time, whether it's algorithms working against you or just people's waning interest, being busy with other things, you have to keep growing it. But I would say if you don't have an audience yet, you need to do many things each day for a while until it starts growing, but then, turn it into a consistent process for yourself. So when we're talking about audience, I think of it as two key components. That there's your mailing list and there's your community. So it doesn't matter what you actually build to create. Like the mailing list obviously is an autoresponder, service or a mailing list service. But the community can be built wherever, whether it's a social media, blog, a podcast. You want one kind of hub for it, Facebook groups. But I would say that, just a regular social media account maybe is not exactly a community. You want to be able to really interact and make people feel like they belong to it. But the overall thing is, I want to stress, is don't worry about being everywhere. Everyone thinks, okay, well, I need to get on Instagram. I got to be on TikTok. I got to be here. And maybe you'll be using all those tools in some way, somehow. But the key is you're still trying to get people to the mailing list and into your community. Those are ultimately where you want the people to be. So I think I got a little bit ahead of myself, but yeah, like a mailing list, you're using a mailing list platform to do that. We happen to use Aweber, and we're actually going to talk about Aweber to do that. But there are lots of other services like MailChimp, GetResponse, Constant Contact. If you know kind of what you're looking for and you don't have it yet, you can look at the features. But if you are not sure, just use Aweber. They're all very much the same.
They have actually improved a lot in the last few
Yeah.
years. Before they were a little bit tricky, but now they're a very complete system, in my opinion, or almost.
Yeah. So, but that platform is your selling tool, right? That's where you're going to send the more commercial messages. And I do agree about Aweber, but there's always things that will make you pull your hair out about it too. But that's the same no matter what you do. All right. And then the community, which is a place to interact and makes, feels more exclusive than something like social media, like a social media account. We use Facebook groups because that's where our audience hangs out on Facebook. You might have something different. You can also, host a community from your own site. And I've also done that very successfully but that was previous to social media. Now it's sometimes easier, even though you're building on someone else's platform, right? Which, sometimes we want to keep it for ourselves, but at least, you're not asking people to take time out of the day to come to your community. It's something they're already doing in their day. So they're going to Facebook, for example, and then they see you because that's where your community is. So it's already kind of built into their day. And there's people in the chat. If you're here, there's people making sharing what they're using. Like Christy says she uses Kajabi as an all-in-one thing, and might use Aweber to just follow the process. It's up to you. I honestly don't. I think if Kajabi works for you, keep doing that. And Sally has courses hosted in Samcart. So yeah, whatever works for you. And so again, we're building these two main assets, and we want to build them together. And I think that we talked about it a little bit last time, but I've been doing a lot of courses lately that I feel like I forgot if we did talk about it. But all your community members should know how to join your list. And all the people on your list who buy should know how to get into your community. You kind of want them everywhere. You want to be able to share, have them feel like they know you, that it's a bigger part of it, and you want to be able to hit them with those commercial email messages. So the ways you can build these together is by creating awesome free opt-in gifts. We did talk about this last week, and lure them into your community, and then use that. So you're going to put up this page with the free gift, and that's going to become the hub for all your traffic. So if you do a podcast interview, you're not going to tell the podcast host about your main site. You're going to send them to a free gift that the visitors who hear your interview, you're going to send them to this free gift. So everything is going to get sent there when you want to be growing the list. Then you're going to be mentioning your community in your automated emails, like when they sign up for a course or on your download pages, and now and then, link to certain discussions to try to draw in those mailing list people. And the third one here is be ridiculously helpful, right? Because even when you're promotional in your community, it's easy to do both at the same time. When you're already helping someone, your posts are helpful. It's easier to just casually mention in a community where they don't necessarily expect a sales pitch. They're getting so much value from you that they want to know what you have for sale. They want to know this extra stuff. You're probably not always linking to your products in your community, but you're always talking about them. And that's something I'm going to actually go into a lot more detail next week when we talk about building buzz for your course, which we're going to sort of handle separately. Right now, we're just talking about audience building techniques, and then we're going to actually talk about promoting your course next time. All right. So activities, to start attracting your audience, these are the basics for starting out. And obviously these are things you continue to do even after you've got the audience. You're gonna create that free offer. That could be a report, it could be a template, it could be a printable, it could be we talked about challenges last week. It could even be a free class. If you don't have your audience, you might consider doing that, doing your first one for free and kind of make it lead into the paid class. And don't just stop at one of these things. You want lots of different ways for people to enter your list. You want lots of different free gifts that naturally lend themselves to you promoting your various products and courses as well. And we don't know how to set this up yet. Don't worry about that. We're gonna be showing you that. Always be making friends. We did talk about the hub. All your traffic's going to go there, right? I talked about that. So if you do a podcast interview, you are doing, you have a signature somewhere, send them to the opt-in offer, not your main page. Maybe if you're doing search engine optimizations, you're going to do different things. But when you are trying to build in those people, you want them to go get that free thing. You don't want them to search for what you have for free or find out how to get in your mailing list. Just bring them right there. The other important thing, and I think a lot of people skimp on this, but it was something I did by accident, and it's been the most amazing thing for me. You should always be making friends. I mean, friends of your fellow online business owners, and then also people specifically working in your niche or really passionate about your niche, and maybe also they have an audience even though they're not running a business. You need to get to know these people, and the internet, it makes it so easy now. All these communities, right? Join groups, be friends with them on Facebook. If you're an online marketer, online marketers are on Facebook. Go friend them. And promote them. Go to in-person events to meet them. I think we're back to being able to do that kind of stuff after it being a little quieter for a few years. Be doing this, be creating those friendships. And I say friends because a lot of people approach networking from the idea of okay, I do this as a business, you do this, how can we help each other? That you want to do, but the thing is you still want to be just, you don't want to approach someone that way because maybe they don't need anything from you. And the people who can help you most often, they don't necessarily need anything from you. When you lead with friendship and other things of value, being a sounding board or sharing ideas, those kinds of things, friendship, like your business friends. So you talk about business, but you're not trying to get something out of it necessarily. You're building this network of people who you just, vibe with and who will eventually become these promotion partners that you want, or you'll make products together. You'll tap into each other's audiences. And, I got to say over 20 years now doing this, that I have an amazing network of friends who, if I have a question and I don't know how to do something, I can find someone. If I need to hire somebody, I don't need to go to freelancing sites. I can find someone. If I want someone to work on a project with, I can find them. And if by chance it's not someone I know directly, I can find that person. Or my connection can also help connect me to other people. It's so important, and it's something that, don't work in a bubble. Start meeting people. We have a Facebook group. The more you participate in it, the more you're going to see the faces, and then you guys are going to start carrying on conversations, and those are going to be your friends, and they're so valuable. And then always tap into other people's audiences. If you don't have your own, that means you can do guest posts. You can be a podcast guest. Podcasts are great. That's a captive audience, people listening to you being interviewed. And then the host always asks you, where can people find out more about you? They can find out more about you on your opt-in page, and then they're going to get your free gift, and then they're your audience member. Joining communities, be a host of one, or join someone else's, which you're not doing it to be promotional, but you're learning about the audience, and like it's so valuable. You're connecting with like-minded people, and connect with internet marketing groups, not necessarily people working in your niche specifically, but all these people. Obviously, you're not going to overdo it and spend all your days there, but it's an important thing to be doing. All right, some activities to build your audience, as you continue to grow, doing these kinds of things every day. Not all of these every day, that's too much, but it depends where you are, like how much you're going to do in one day. So enlist the small, even if it's a small fan base you already have in the friend pool you have, then, ask for their help. Like if you've got, and not to promote you necessarily, because everyone's promotion schedule is full, except for when it comes to, if you have a few, a small community you're growing, and there's someone who, like, say you're selling like coloring books or something, and there's someone who's super active in your community, and they they're always sharing their own coloring things. They're connected to other people, even if they're not running a business. You can enlist that person to become your affiliate or give them other perks, access to your products or something, just to, to share your stuff. But you always want to approach it with the, what's in it for them thing, right? You're not like, can you promote me? It's, lead with what can help them. Publishing share-worthy content, obviously. Make more free offers. Tweak your old ones. Always go back and tweak them when you learn stuff, like from the new ones you do, so that they work better as a list building tool for you. Be an active participant in your own community, because it's not going to grow itself. You think like, okay, I'm going to set this up, people are going to join, and they're going to, it's going to take care of itself. It could, but the less visible you are, then they're going to forget who the owner of especially if you're building like on Facebook groups and you're in a big group, how sometimes it is, you don't know who owns that group, even though it's very active, but it's not really a business building tool. You want to be an active part of it, or the people who are representing your company, because it doesn't necessarily have to be you. Creating synergy between your mailing list and community. We talked about that, bringing people back and forth all the time. Also, you can do ads. But we say proceed with caution, because we aren't going to be, maybe it will come up next week a little bit with Facebook events where you might promote an event there, but generally speaking, you need to have a solid offer, and you do need to stay on top of any paid advertising that you do. So it definitely can work, but try, you got to build your assets before you go into the ads, because you won't really know what works, and you'll end up using, I hate sounding very negative, because ads can be very powerful, but you do have to be careful. All right, let's move to part 2, and we're talking about crafting your offer. And again, we're still not worried about technology right now. As mentioned, Yusuf's going to cover that in the next in this session, but next. For now, you need salesmanship skills, because they are way more important than the tech. The tech obviously is important, that it makes it possible, but there's so many options and so many ways to do it that it's your, salesmanship skills that are going to carry you. And remember, we're doing, this first, crafting your offer before the product creation, so that you can get into customer mode. We mentioned that last time, right? So that you are thinking how your customer's thinking to better sell your product and create a better product that serves your customers' most pressing needs. When you think about what will make them buy, you'll be able to know what they want in a product, and then you can develop it. All right, so let's talk about honing your skills. So I mentioned that persuasion guide earlier. Please, and especially if you're new, and even if you're not new, I think particularly the second part of the guide, when I talk more about being persuasive in your information-based content, that will be really useful. There's also swipe files that have fill in the blanks, headlines, all these different parts of your offer. that will help immensely. When I first started, I actually made these for myself and I printed them out and I kept them handy. So every time I had to do a headline, every time I wanted to write a PS, or if I wanted to transition between one part of my sales, I'll show you. I think there's another slide that actually gives you a peek at what's in there. I always kept them with me and kept referring to them. And the more I did that, the more it became natural for me to figure out how to do it on my own, which leads us to the second part, is practice. You're going to get more confident in your products and how to present them effectively, but you're not going to learn it just by reading something. You're going to have to be practicing and doing it. And you'll be surprised at how, when you consciously practice it, how good you'll get at it, and quickly. So here is like 3 skills outside of, that persuasion guide talks about the different parts of, parts of copywriting that will make you a better writer. I think there's 3 overall skills that truly help you actually put it into practice and become really powerful. Kevin says he still has my blueprints. Yeah, I made all kinds of things like that. You probably have these swipe files, actually, probably too, Kevin. Been using them forever, and I give them out as much as I can because I think they're so useful. So there's 3 skills here. I'm saying confidence, empathy, and assertiveness, and I'll explain each one. And confidence is key, obviously, because people can feel it. They know, even if it's in writing, they can tell if you're confident in what you have to offer. And I think that comes from practice. But to get started, think about, I always say, treat your audience like your friends. Think of it that way. When you're talking to your friend and they tell you they have a problem, you will always, you'll give them advice. And if you are shy about giving advice, you can't be in this case. This is what you're here for, in the business for. But you give them advice. And if you know of a product that would help them, you would not hesitate one tiny bit to tell them to get that product, right? So think of it in that way. Give recommendations and advice freely, because that's why they came to you in the first place. And remember, a no is nothing personal. It really isn't. They could be busy. It doesn't sound right to them. They have other things that, that are on their mind, or they have some blocks about something. But the more you talk to them, the more a no is perhaps going to become a yes, not by badgering them and saying, you better get this, but you're giving them different ways to think about their problem, which is part of the content you're sharing and how you warm them up in your community as well. So empathy is also really key. Because empathy will mean you can feel your audience. And if it doesn't come naturally to you, you try to do it more intentionally. Because, when you know how to communicate with them persuasively and you understand them, whether it is so much more powerful. I love it when people tell me, they're like, it's like you're reading my mind. It's like the biggest compliment. This is just what I needed. It is so great to hear that, because I'm paying attention. Obviously, I don't know what every single individual in my audience wants, but I have an overall feeling from these things, and I'm able to tap into that. I think about, I'm paying attention to them, I'm interacting with them, and I'm testing things out. So when you're trying to do this, whether you're selling or helping, I'm dividing it into 2, but they're the same thing. Because even when you're helping, you're selling, because you're still, you're teaching them things that are going to help them solve their problem. And ultimately it culminates in them using your product, signing up for your course. But, when you're paying attention to them, what do they talk about? What are their problems? What makes them mad? What makes them sad? What makes them happy? How do they handle their problems? We all handle them differently, and you'll find your audience, clearly has a certain type of need that, maybe they're not getting. What do they spend their money on? And as you observe them, engage them in these conversations to learn about more deeply about these things, which is why having that community is important, and why it's important to have your mailing list where you are promoting more directly, having those people in your community is important because you'll get to know them better there in the community. And then you need to test out what you think you've learned from them by creating content and selling products to them, and then build on what you learned from there. And then we have assertiveness as the third thing. And it's what brings us all to one level, but it can't stand on its own. Like, it can't just be assertive and not have empathy, because these, and the confidence and assertiveness sort of go together, but they're slightly different. But it allows you to express your confidence and understanding of others when you're assertive, right? And you put it all out there in a way that is persuasive to your audience. Some people are actually assertive, right? But they lack empathy. And you can see this. So you'll notice it, that people, they come across as pushy. If they're confident and assertive, it'll feel pushy to you. But if maybe they have empathy and assertiveness, or just assertiveness on its own, and then they appear desperate. You don't want that. You need all three pieces to make it work well. And assertiveness also comes from practice. So keep sharing, keep learning. The process really never stops, but it's so rewarding. The more you understand your audience, the more you're helping them, the more you're selling, like, it all becomes this amazing, wonderful thing. So a few ideas on, putting the skills into practice. And I have a little quote, so you can become a master of those skills. I have a quote that says, "Be worth their time, even if they don't buy today," by Colin Terrio. Some of you may know Colin. He's from the Cult of Copy. He's just a regular old marketing, brilliant though. Like, he's on Facebook. He's one of the internet marketers on Facebook. You can find him. I recommend you join his groups or friend him, and you'll get some really great things. This quote, I'm saying it from memory, so it might not be the exact wording, but he's basically saying what I was saying already, is that you are being so ridiculously helpful that they're still going to want to listen to you, even if you're selling to them, and even if they don't want to buy today. It's like, you're going to keep the conversation going, and they're going to keep listening to you, and you're going to eventually overcome any objections they have to buying, because you've helped them so much and helped them see that, yeah, your product is what they need. So ways you can do this is to always be educating, right? And we talked about last week the kind of what to do, show them what to do, and then sell the how to. And I won't go into big depth about that, but that was in the first lesson. If you missed it, you can catch up on that. Also, always keep the problems in mind. Like, think about these things that you're learning through you're observing them and are interacting with them. And when you keep those things that they're worried about or whatever in your head, you will better be able to communicate with them in a more meaningful way. Make it a conversation. One piece of content leads to the next. So when you're writing an email, tell them what's coming next, or refer to the previous email. Like, make it feel like they want to be a part of this. They want to continue, they don't want to miss anything. They're going to keep doing that. Same in your communities, right? Build on the previous content to keep sort of even if they're different topics, there's still like a conversation sort of going where they're going to want to be paying attention. Demonstrate your products. That's content. Like, don't be, that's content and useful in itself. Give great advice while you're showing how your product works that will be useful to them regardless. I believe we talked about last week, these casual mentions about, like, saying, by the way. So if you're giving useful information that would help them solve the problem that your course solves, and you've given them a really good tip, and you can say, well, by the way, we have this is what I'm doing in our Facebook group, if you've seen it. Like, I'm telling you what we're working on. I'm sharing a little bit of stuff, and I'm like, well, by the way, we're going to meet today. So if you want to get in, you should come. Strong calls to action where appropriate, right? Don't be shy, and your swipe files will help you with that. Give clips and share clips of your courses or whatever videos you create and highly usable tips. And then you can also on blog posts, this is always what I do. I summarize it at the end, what to do next. This is what you should do. Or we do it in email sometimes too, where for example, we emailed our customers about, or not customers, it wasn't you guys. You guys shouldn't have gotten this email unless you're signed up with a different address than you signed up for here. We shared some of the extra bonus content, like a video, and said that, that you can go learn this. And then but I also prefaced it by saying today, we're getting ready for the next session and it's going to be about this. And one of the things we're talking about is blah. And you can watch this video here. And then I put a what to do next and I make a list and I say, okay, first thing is to watch the video. The second thing is sign up for the course, but it's, it all flows naturally. So you kind of sum it up because people look to you for guidance. Tell them, be very direct with them on what they should do next. Share customer experiences. If you've got a student or customer in anybody you worked with doing great things, interview them, showcase their work, share it, because it's inspiring to others and it also shows you as an authority who can help people. Give ideas for better results. You'll see this is something we do with our PLR all the time. We're always talking about ways to use it. You can do the same thing no matter what you're selling. You can always give tips to get better results from your products. All right. So we're gonna talk a bit about building the offer, building the offer. So we got the skills out of the way. You guys are gonna download those extras, and we're gonna kind of talk about it in two parts here. And it's hooks and angles to differentiate your offer, and then the necessary elements that you want to have in your offer. And so we do have the swipe files that will help you. We also have the templates, right? There's a sales page template that lines this up for you, an opt-in offer page, the thank you page, and then the welcome email. So you're not going to miss any of this. The checklist also will keep you on track with everything. So just sit back and listen. You don't need to worry about that you're going to get it all because we've got the tools for you to make it easier. So the essentials for differentiating your topic. So, what makes you, we talked about it last week too, when you were coming up with that title, right? Like what's going to make you stand out? Look at other products on the market and figure out what makes your course, the way you work with your customers and who you personally are, what makes you different? How is what you do easier, faster, better, and most importantly, simpler? People don't want complicated solutions. They want simple things. Who is the common enemy? And I believe I'm gonna give you an example of what I mean about that in one of the slides here. So I'll leave that for now. Remembering it's an event people don't want to miss. We're creating a community. We're doing all this stuff so that people feel like they belong. And when you turn this into a live event, your class, it's more than just a class. It's like something they want to be at. It might only just be one time also. So if they don't join at this time, then they're out of luck. But you're going to sell their recordings, but they won't be able to join it live again unless you decide to do it again. But I don't like doing that myself. Or explain why this has never been done before. You could say others don't do this because maybe they don't want to share their secrets or I don't know what it is. You haven't yet because you've been too busy doing whatever it is you're doing, but now you have time. Make it sound more exclusive. What experience, unique skills, or qualifications do you bring? And don't get hung up on the word qualifications, like maybe you don't have education or formal education, and you can't put some fancy letters behind your name, but that doesn't matter. You don't need to worry about that. You still have unique experience and skills that you are bringing. And of course, remember what we talked about a lot about the money, relationships, health, power, and status. Incorporate those. If you didn't go, if you missed the first lesson, definitely go back to know really what we're talking about there. So I would like to start by giving you, because I try to give examples so that you guys can imagine it for yourself. Like, think about the hooks and angles that we used on our sales page for this particular class. And think about which ones worked on you, maybe. So we talked about eliminating procrastination, and it's not just a thing we said. We actually, the process we've set up gives you less time to think about it. Obviously, we also encourage you, and we're trying to get you moving. But the way we reversed all the order of things, it actually really is built in. It's not just us saying that. It simplifies things where most people, a lot of people get lost in all the detail and the things they have to do. We are trying to, even though we're trying to really give you lots of good, high level foundational things to learn, the actual steps that you have to take are quite simple. We're reverse engineering the process of something. If you can reverse engineer something, do it. That makes it easier, simpler. And here's the common enemy thing. And our common enemy, between you guys and Yusuf and I, were other course creation teachers. So, we talked about people who, we said, if you haven't been procrastinating, you haven't got it done, it's not your fault. It's the fault of the people who have been teaching you. They make it too complicated, right? That's what we mean by common enemy. It's not like, anything too serious, and like, we're not calling people out by name, and we don't even have anyone by name in mind. It's just that it kind of puts us on the same side. If you can do that as well, it's quite powerful. It also about, starting to use all that unused PLR. A lot of our audience has these big hard drives full of PLR. So this was a way to bring them in and get them using it. We also have decades of experience. So instead of learning from people who are just saying what they heard, you're learning from people who have done what they're teaching. All right, and then there were a few more from this particular offer. We're going to talk about our case study in a sec. But this was, get and think about how you can maybe leverage or adapt these in some way. They're probably not going to translate literally to your offer, but just think about how it can be adapted. So we had the get paid before you create element, right? You're going to get registrations before you've even made it. We have techniques to boost the value of the product offers that you have. There's no website required. We're step by step. Lots of people are step by step, so it's not that unique. But because we have that bare bones system, that's the step by step that will be helpful to a lot of people. We've included a lot of templates. We also give ongoing help through our Facebook group, where we're always happy to answer questions long after it's done. And we do that through the group because we want, you don't want people, some people, course creators, say you can email me, and if you want to do that, but I think that as you grow, it's not really manageable. It's too much. I prefer to help people where it helps other people as well. So if you do answer private emails and you decide to do that, do it. I recommend doing it with the stipulation that that person allows you to share what the advice that you gave them. So if you need to remove very sensitive information to do that, that's fine, but they can't get private free help without it, benefiting your business and benefiting the group somehow. And then we talked about in our offer about how much do you want to earn. We did the math on the page for people. We talked about that last time. So there's lots of different things that we built in that make it different. So we are going to talk a bit more about hooks and angles on when we talk about our case study. But for now, I'm going to give you a list. You, again, don't need to sit and write these notes down. This is on your checklist. It's on your worksheet. It's built into the templates we have for you. So you don't need to memorize this or to worry about worry about, do I have it all now? You'll have something to refer to as you create your offer. But this is is definitely for a paid offer. A lot of these things will come into play on a free offer as well. But generally speaking, you do need to sell the free offer, right? People don't just give away their email address for nothing. So you do have to convince them, be persuasive. But it depends where, no test. There's no test, Connie, don't worry. You're gonna, no, I got myself distracted. But it's probably going to be shorter, and you'll decide which elements are important or not, depending on maybe like if people know you. Like a lot of our free offers, we don't introduce ourselves on our free offer because most of the traffic is from people who know us. Or if it's private label rights content, like it's a tool they're downloading, they don't necessarily care. But if it's advice, then maybe we need to introduce ourselves. You have to use your what? I need my dictionary, people. Not logic, common sense. My goodness. See, I don't have any common sense right now. But for when it's a paid element, you're probably you try to incorporate all of these. And if you feel tired, just put them in there. It'll help. So we have a headline and a subheadline. We're going to look at the template in a bit. You want an image of your product because the visual element will draw people in. You do want to have an introduction to your sales page where you identify the problem and you have a really strong hook to bring them in. So they're going to keep reading to find out what's going on. You also do want to lay this out in a way it's in different sections so it's easy to scan, right? Because everyone says, oh, but that's too much information. People aren't going to read it. But people are going to scan for the part that they want. Maybe they want to see what the product looks like. So they're going to go for the product image. Maybe they want to know who the heck is this? Why should I learn from them? And they're going to scroll to the About You part. And if you make it stand out and you're using these larger subheadlines to draw it in, using bullet points to make it easier to read, they find the part that they need. And the super, super keen will read it all. They might even, I've had people say they print it out and like before they decide. I think that happens less now than maybe 20 years ago when people were less comfortable with this, but I bet it still does happen. My mom would probably print it out if she wanted to join my class. So you're going to have the About You section that includes your experience, your unique perspective, and your qualifications as it applies. You're going to also encourage them that there's a solution to this problem, and it's going to be your products, and you're going to show its benefits. And we're not going to go that deep into it. I said that you do have the persuasion guide, and it talks about how to write benefits. There's also a benefit swipe file that will help you not just list the features of your product, but help people understand how it's going to help them. That's important. You're going to give them a reason why they should sign up, maybe several reasons why. You know, what happens if they don't solve their problem now? What can they face? What are the costs of not doing that? You're going to include testimonials or case studies where I think we did mention it last time too. They don't have to be people who took this class. You can just ask people to give you feedback on the topic you've helped them with before. It just doesn't have to be about your class. It's about you and your expertise or your skills in helping people. You're going to do the FAQ, the frequently asked questions that we had, and the templates actually have some suggestions and stuff for that. And I think you'll find that helpful. Definitely print out the swipe file doesn't have it. It's the template, but just look at all the stuff. And bonuses. What are you going to offer that's extra to try to get them to go in? Don't just pile stuff in there. Make it really useful. Maybe your bonuses are your printables. Maybe it's built into the course. However you want to present it. You're going to summarize your offer at the end as well because you're giving them a lot of information. So before you go and ask for the sale, you're going to summarize it. On our sales page for this, you'll see we had a bullet point list. The template also has a place to put a list right before the order button. You want to justify your price also. Like for us, it's anyone who takes this course, if you've paid $97, all you need, like maximum, even if you're charging 27 and you have some expenses to take care of, you need like 8 or 10 people before you're probably making money, but you're at least breaking even, if depending on how, what you have, what you are investing in your transcripts and stuff like that. Like that is a simple thing to do. You are signing up. It's not simple. It's hard work. I'm bullshitting you right now, but it's like it pictures it in their head. That's what they need. That's all they need to do. Then they duplicate it and they continue. Another price justification could be you're actually helping them save money in another way. By them having this skill, they no longer have to hire someone because they have these templates or whatever it happens to be. It makes sense to buy it. A common price justification is less than a price of coffee a day or something like that. It's overdone, but that's what I'm talking about. You create some urgency. Get them to sign up now. So with a live event, it's kind of built in for you. It's the date to start the class that that's already there. It could be that the bonuses are only offered for a certain time. It could be something else. It could be their problem, like, oh my gosh, like you can't let this go for another day, whatever it happens to be. I don't solve that urgent of problems, so we're not using that, but it might fit in with what you're doing. You need to ask for the sale, like be really direct and tell them, click that order button and then this is what happens. And then after that, don't just put the order button and leave, because think of it as a letter. It is like a sales letter, old school thing that you get sent, that people used to send in the mail a long time ago, and they probably still do. You're going to make a final promise and you're going to sign it, put your name on it. It adds more validity, or like you're a real person, you're standing by what you say. And then PSs, we have lots of swipe files for PSs. Like people scroll down to the bottom because they're looking for the order button. So it might get them, and it might get someone, encourage them to come back up, put a little link in the PS that links them back up to the order button. All right. So as I mentioned, we do have templates and swipe files to help you here. I just put them here to remind you. And they are also, to tell you, they're in PDF format, but also Yusuf is going to oh yeah, the price is there. I agree with you. I totally agree. I think I didn't specifically say that, but by the order button and the template that we give you has a price. It might have a regular price and an after sale price, but I don't understand why someone wouldn't put the price there. So it comes in, the templates come in PDF format, and they're also in Aweber. If you guys use Aweber, or you're going to sign up for Aweber, and use their landing page creator, which Yusuf's going to talk about. If I would stop talking, we can get on to that part. But what?
No, I just laughed.
Laughing. Yes, I missed your laugh. I'm like, am I being funny? No one's laughing because you're
No, you are. But hey, these templates, you can download them from Aweber.
You're not even downloading them to you're downloading them into Aweber. Like you click a link and it puts them into your Aweber account. They're like right there that you can click them. It's awesome. It's a great feature that they have. Totally. And then that's the list of swipe files, like the benefits, bullet point benefits, call to action, the closing, and like all this great stuff that you need to do. The copywriting persuasion eKit Hub is actually the document, the guide that you want to read first. There's for headlines, motivating phrases, PSs, power words that you want to incorporate into your writing and get used to doing that because they make a bigger impact. These are great things to have. All right, so let's just talk about the case study, and we're going to look at our offer, and then we're going to move on to the actual software and stuff like that. But so our case study, you remember last week we talked about taking the mentoring guide as PLR and adapting it. So now our working title, because we gave a few last time, and we've totally changed it and really adapted it to what we need for the purpose. And it's now called Done For You Printable Secrets, 5 Ways to Make Money and Help Your Customers Achieve Their Goals. And as we mentioned, it's going to be a free event that actually promotes a product. So we're not going to charge for this one. We're going to use it as a selling tool and also, to attract new audience members in the process. So why that became the title, because we're focusing on the printables part, since, our content package is largely printables, right? And we're doing the Done For You printables. We're saying that because we're going to sell them that, right? We don't want to teach them how to make them because it's done for you and it sounds appealing. We're not going to show them how to make printables. It's like, these are done for you. It's easy. And the description of the event kind of clarifies that for them. This computer hasn't done that today, but now it did. So it appeals to people who like to help and make money, which is our target audience, right? We really focus on making a difference to people, but also, making a living from that. That's what we want to help other people do. And it incorporates money, relationships, and power and status. So the money, making money from it, relationships, and helping other people. That's a bit of a stretch, Alice, but the relationships with your customers, helping them, being a good mentor. And then the power and status is you're making money. You're a big baller business owner. So I'm on a roll. I said the S word too, Trish. I couldn't believe it. All right. So our case study, and I'm going to show you it as well. And I'm hoping I can share my screen and do that successfully with this technology. But we're going to use our experience doing this, right? That kind of the same thing that we did for this event. It's a free event that people normally charge for. We built that into the sign up page. It's a one-time only thing, we're not going to do this again. And we're teaching people to make a bigger impact without as much work. It's super simple. And you don't even need to make your printables. And we're even going to give them some printables for free if they join us on the live event. And the printables and strategies are going to make you a better mentor, and we're going to show strategies for doing that. And we also capitalize on what you guys have been telling us, telling Yusuf and me, is that we're a great team and we're fun. You guys have a good time when we're together. And I'm really sad we're not together right now. It feels weird doing this separately. But anyway, so here's a peek at the offer page. And what I want to do is share the screen. So Yusuf, actually, thank you, Yusuf, because now I can just click it. And I believe if I go there, you guys can see that, right? Can you see the offer on the page? Oh, but if I make it that big, I can't see my chat. Can you guys see that? Yes, awesome. Thank you. That will be useful. So, all right, let me just get this already. So we have the title. It's a free live event. I'm just going to show you quickly because I kind of gave you all the angles. Again, it's a one-time only free event, and you're going to learn effective mentoring strategies while leveraging the power of easy-to-publish printables. We've made a graphic. Biscuit is again featured on this one. We've added the free gift, right? They're gonna get some printables to download. Some people are just gonna come for the printables. And it talks about, learning to make a big impact for your customers without all the extra work, because helping people can be a lot of work. So we're going to show you how to do it easily. And we give this nice bullet point list of if this is perfect for you. If any of these sound familiar, And, there's a bunch of things for them to consider. Doing things faster, creating without spending your time all day writing content, building trust and accountability, encouraging your customers to be more disciplined. I don't need to read through all of it, but you can see like what we have here, and then it mentions what the free thing is. We say the document format. You don't need to do that if it's not relevant, but for you guys, because our customers, if it's PLR, knowing the format of the document is important. But if you're just giving an end user, like a customer who's not going to use it in their own business, you don't need to tell them the format of it. We just do it for the PLR reasons. We also included some feedback about us and using our products, and feedback about us being a great team, it being fun, we're going to have a great time. And there is the free access. We give it a value. It's a class size. So we put the value at $47, which is what we would charge for a one-time class as well. Yes. Oh yeah. Okay, Gail, absolutely. Like, you can't read the page. We're just glancing at it. So this page we're looking for is our case study. And it's in your resource list. Yusuf also put it in the chat in case you want to click the link and then open it and look at it later. But it's all there for you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
No worries. And I'm glad that we have that available for you. And sorry if it is running fast, but everything. We've got everything for you to refer to later wherever you got lost. Also, come and see us in the Facebook group. Happy to help if something after, still doesn't quite, you didn't quite get it. Also ask us here too before we finish up, because we'll have lots of time for questions. Then we see I have 2 PSs as well. Be sure to get your name in now to get the live event information, reminders, and updates so you don't miss a thing. Again, this is one time only, and these aren't even the greatest PSs, but it, gives them another reason to do that. And then Yusuf also gave us the thank you page. So on the thank you page for us, it says success. So they feel successful. We want to encourage them. And here are the event details that you need. And because we're going to do this one on YouTube, we've actually embedded the live thing here. So they could actually come to this page and press play if they want, but we tell them you should go to YouTube because you'll be able to, be part of the chat. If they watch from here, they won't be able to do that. So we give them the details, where it is again. We tell them how to get a notification on YouTube. And here we do. This is a what to do next. For best success, 2 quick things to do now. And for us, because they just joined our list, one of the things is, actually we didn't, I know. Often we put our Facebook group here to get them into the group. And this one doesn't have it, but you can have that to get them into your community. We are actually trying to get more people on YouTube, because that will be a community as well, because we're going to do live events and stuff like that. So we encourage them to go subscribe to the channel. But the first thing we put here, and we're going to talk about next week, is creating a Facebook event page. So in Facebook, not your live video, but you can actually make events. People can put up local events. You can have an event that takes place on Facebook. It's a separate sort of advertising thing, and it's something that we'll incorporate. So we actually asked people who even told us they were going to mark themselves going on the Facebook group, because it makes the event look popular. Then we can advertise it. We can do other things with it. So that's something that we'll talk about next week. It's not in this week's lesson, but you can put whatever you want here. If the product's for sale, you might put the product already there. But if you're trying to sell it from a live event, it's a live event. If it's a report, maybe, but live event, you don't want to start selling to them. You want them to come to the live event, get them in your community, and then go from there. All right, so maybe before I hand it over to Yusuf, who is going to talk about the technology and if you guys have any questions so far, or if you want feedback on your things.
Meanwhile, can I steal the slides and make it so that I can actually share the slides so that I can do my part? Yeah.
And I think that's going to totally take away mine. I think it can only be one at a time in the way I have the account.
Yeah, that's fine.
The way my bank account is set up. Just kidding. I don't know if you guys, who is that? Now I forgot his name too. Who's the bank? Oh, the way my bank account is set up. The comedian, the little short guy.
Who?
Come on, you like him. He always has Kevin Hart. Thank you,
Kevin Hart. Yeah.
If you guys don't know that bit, then it won't be funny to you. But if you know it, it's like the way my Zoom account is set up, because I'm too cheap to add another user into it. So he always doesn't have money. Kevin, he doesn't have money when he goes to like meet. I think it's him that doesn't have the money, right? That he doesn't have money for things. So he always says, I just need, can you pay? Because the way my bank account's set up, I can't.
Oh, yeah. That was.
I can't get the money right now. Just pay.
We actually have like GoToWebinar too that we could have used for this.
Yes.
But it's, I don't know. I think Zoom
has a nice interactive.
Yeah.
For
exactly.
Like it's more interactive, I think. Okay, so Yusuf is here. And are you, now I forgot. Yeah, you're eKit, Yusuf, right?
Yeah, eKit.
Okay, allow to record, make host. Okay, and I wonder, change host. I'm no longer the host.
Oh, wow.
Can you still hear me? Yes, my mic is still on. Awesome. Okay.
Scary.
Yeah. All right. So I think that I'm looking at the chat. I didn't see any questions. We can continue on. Oh, wait. No, you know what? I'm not the bottom, but Connie knows the Kevin Hart thing. It's still funny after the millionth time. All right.
Yeah, so if you have any questions for Alice about her part, just ask her now. We will also.
I think you could go on. I think we asked that a minute or two ago, so it might come up later, and it might even, you'll think of questions after you see this part. It'll be
Okay.
I think we can move ahead.
So you guys can see the slides perfectly. You see part 3 software requirements.
I can see them. They're on. Yes.
Okay, awesome.
They're on a weird, they're on less of the screen, but I don't
on what?
They seem to show on. I'm gonna make it complicated. I see them on less of the screen than normal, but it's still big and it's still very readable. So we can. Yeah.
Maybe it's because you're not the host anymore.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay. It looks the same. Okay, it's just me. Bye.
Okay. Bye. All right. So software requirements. So these are the things that you need to be able to create and put your offer together. So what you need is a landing page, a thank you page for both the free and the paid offer. And you also need an order button for the paid offer and an opt-in form for the free offer. And also you need a way to communicate and update your attendees through the email list or the community, which is the Facebook group. And also you need a way to run the live session, and also a way to download printable handouts. So this is the extreme bare bones system. It's not really recommended, but if you really don't want to spend money, then this is what you can do. Set up a free Wix site or a website on Wix.com, and it's a website builder. It's drag and drop. It's very easy to use. You can add a PayPal button there, and once you add the PayPal button, you can redirect the button into the info page where you're going to show people where to join the secret Facebook group and give them a date for the Facebook Live event. And then obviously you have to deliver on the live event or the live session through Facebook. So this is free. You can do it totally free without spending any money on it, but it's not recommended because on the system, when you use that, you can't grow your email list, and the only way to grow your business is if you truly grow your email list, because that will offer you a way to stay in touch with your customers, nurture them, and keep selling to them. I know a lot of people sometimes are a little bit resistant towards having or using email lists simply because there are some deliverability issues due to ISP filtering. But to be honest with you, it doesn't happen that often. Emails are actually delivered far more often than, let's say, social media recommending your product or your post through a notification or showing them on, let's say, Facebook feed or Instagram feed. Because Facebook, Instagram, and other platforms, they have this thing: if you're promoting a product, automatically they stop its organic show. And the reason why they do that is because they want you to spend money on ads, I believe. But I'm just speculating at the moment. But if you have an email, you can reach out to your customers anytime you want to. So that's why building an email list is very important. So if you want to build an email list and have a successful system, so this is the recommended bare bones system. And obviously, if you have a website that is able currently to take orders, conduct Facebook Live or conduct live events, and collects emails and help you build your email list, then stick with that system. You don't need the system that I'm going to recommend here. This is the system that I'm going to recommend here is only for people that are just starting off, or they want to take one step back to save a little bit of money while doing this. So the first thing you need to do is sign up for an Aweber's account. Aweber is an email system that allows you to create landing pages and connect the landing pages to Stripe. That way you can sell your product, you can have a paid offer, a free offer, and Aweber will accept the payment through their Aweber e-commerce system that is built in to the landing pages. I believe the free account, you get up to 500 subscribers, you get one email list, and you get one landing page and one automated email, which is an email that you can set beforehand that will send to people. But the next one in line, the next plan in line, I believe it costs $12.50 per month. That one gives you 3 landing pages, 3 automated emails, if I remember correctly. I'm just trying to recall the numbers, and it will give you unlimited subscribers. And I believe 1 or 2 email lists, so just double check on that. So once you have the Aweber account, the second thing that you would need to do is create a private and unlisted Facebook group to deliver the session via Facebook Live. And then you need Google Documents or Google Drive to make it easier for people to download their printables and handouts. We'll talk more about it next week. And also, you need to create another free group that anyone can join, including your customers, just to build a community and stay in touch with people. And this community group won't be private because it will be private, but it's a different group. But the goal with this one is just to build on the community a little bit more and contact people and things like that. So part 3 is setting up your offer and getting ready to open for registration. What you see here are a bunch of screenshots, one screenshot of the landing page, and then Aweber and Facebook private group. So these are the 2 the videos that I've made. I've made 2 videos about Facebook and 2 videos about Aweber. I believe each Aweber video is 15 minutes long, and one Facebook video is more than 15 minutes, and the other one is just 1 minute on how to set up the group. So this is basically the landing page that Alice talked about earlier that will come with Aweber. You'll have a link in your resource page that you can just download. Basically, if you have an Aweber account, if you click on that download, it will be automatically downloaded into your account. And then when you have that, then you can basically begin with the steps in the first video. So in the first video, Aweber video, I will basically show you how to log into your account and sign up for an account. And once you're logged in, you go to pages and forums and click on landing pages. Here you have 2 options. The first option is to create a landing page from scratch. I wouldn't recommend it. You might as well just use one of the templates that we offer or the Aweber offer. Aweber offers multiple different templates for multiple different causes. If you're selling courses, merchandise, just look through the template and see what works for you. But if you want to work with our template, again, it will be available in the resource page. Step 3, I'll show you how to edit and work with the Aweber's landing pages. You can use our template for that or any other template. And step 4, I'll show you how to add a product. And step 5, I'll show you how to connect your landing page to a specific email list. that is a very actually important step, so that when people go to your landing page, purchase your product, you want them to be signed up for the correct email list. And I'll also go into the tag system that will be helpful to understand the next video about campaigns. And in the 6th step, I'll show you how to connect your landing page to Stripe. It's very simple. It's all in one video. And that way you'll have a landing page that is able to accept payments and enroll people into the designated email list.
Yeah, and I put the links actually if people are eager, but hang out while we're finishing this up. But if you want to copy and paste from the chat, it's in your resource list though. But the links to the videos are there. The links even to the templates are there as well. That's on your resource list. And could we ask there's 2 more steps on this video. We have a question about step 6, which is a good question. So
okay, we can actually take it now because this is in the second.
Oh, that's video. The next part. Okay, yeah. That's okay. So and I saw it, like Sarian asked about using PayPal, and now PayPal doesn't integrate with Aweber specifically. So you could technically put a PayPal button because you put in a graphic and you'd link it to your PayPal form. But I don't know of a way that would you be able to do that? Would you be able to get the person on your list once they bought without manually doing it?
That would have to, I actually never tried to use PayPal on Aweber. I would have to look into that, but they have a lot of videos available that you can look into as well. But I would believe you would have to
like you can do the order process easily because it'd just be an image of a cart, add to cart image, as long as you could have a link, which I believe that you can just get an order link from PayPal. But the key is you want them on your list. That's the part that.
Yeah. The reason why Aweber chose Stripe, it's because it's friendly, it's easy to use. I think you can have a private account, and the pricing are also very competitive with PayPal. And it's not a lot of work to set it up. I would recommend to go with the Stripe option just because you don't have to do extra steps in order to make it. But the PayPal one, there is a way to get it done, but I just haven't looked into it because it's just, it wasn't the recommended option to work with.
I have noticed it too, actually. And then, yes. So Connie says, yes, you add it, but is it because your shopping cart's communicating with PayPal? Well, we're probably holding up, but it's interesting to think about because some people do prefer PayPal. Some people hate PayPal. We know we all have these very strong feelings about payment processors.
Yeah. So basically, when you use Stripe and Aweber, the thing is, it saves you a lot of integrational steps.
Yeah.
Because all you got to do is once a person buys a product, you just put a tag, and automatically Aweber will add that person to the email list that you designated that person to be added into, and then at the same time they will tag them with the product name, right? Yeah. So, and then the tag is what is going to trigger here step 8, which is how to set up an email campaign for so each email campaign works with tags, so you can trigger the email campaign in 2 ways, but when people subscribe for the first time or when they get tagged with the product that they purchased. I always recommend when they get tagged with a product purchase, because it could be the same person that is already on your email list, they just bought a different product of yours, right? So Stripe makes it more easier to Stripe and Aweber makes it easier for that process to take place. If you choose PayPal, then you're going to have to figure out how to ensure that the person that buys the product gets tagged and then added to your email list. There is a way. There is always a way. Yeah. There's always a way, but it might be 2-3 steps more to get it done.
Yeah.
But if you have your own separate website and you're trying to do something completely different, then you can use PayPal for it, or you can use anything.
Yeah, we use both.
Yeah, exactly. We use both. Yeah. So in the second video about Aweber, I'll show you The reason why I put it from step 1 to 7, it's because I just wanted to lay it out so that it makes sense for you, but it's divided into 2 videos. So watch the first video from step 1 to 6, and then come to this video, the second video, from step 7 to 8. So here I'll show you how to create an email list, and then step 8, I'll show you how to set up an email campaign for your email list and product. And I told you that, you know, there are different things that you need to do to trigger the campaign. I'll walk you through it step by step. But if you watch the first video and then watch this one, it might make more sense, but you can choose whichever order you want. And below each video, you can find the steps so that it saves you time. So let's say you're coming back and you're setting up your landing page and you forgot one step, because obviously you won't remember this. Each video is 60 minutes. You just go back and to the description section and look at the steps and just click on the step. And that way it saves you a lot of time. So on YouTube, it's organized in the description section. I made it so it's easier for you. So let's say if you forgot how to create an email list, just go to the second video and click on how to create email list in the description section, and it will jump start you where that process begins, where I show you that process. All right. So in the next 2 videos, I'll show you how to set up a private Facebook group and also a live event. So first, we would have to set up the private Facebook group. I included some screenshots here because it's not a long process, and I think maybe it will be useful for some of you to see it. So first, you would need to log into your Facebook account. And once you're on your Facebook account, just go to the top right corner where I have it highlighted, click on it, and it will pop up a window on the side here. You just go down to group, so create a group. And once you click on create a group, it will open up this page where you get to name your group, make it private and hide it. So in the first section, you just name your group, put any unique name that you want that pertains to the course, the product, or the live event. And then choose privacy. Make sure that one is set on private. It's a drop down window. So you just choose and select private. And the reason why you want to put it private is because you don't want that information to be available to other people. You want it to be private. And then in the next step, you would have to hide the group. And the reason why you would hide it in this case is so that they don't find it when they look for it. Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, just to kind of go back to, you know, building a community and doing this thing, you can use Zoom, and you can sign up for whatever product you want to do the live one, but the live Facebook videos are free. You can share your screen and all that stuff. So the group is unlisted and hidden because it's only going to be to deliver this class, and you don't want people who didn't buy to see it. You're still going to have like a private group that can be found publicly. That's going to be your community. This
exactly.
is simply for the purpose of delivering the live event.
Exactly.
But you can simplify it, but then maybe shell out a little more money by doing Zoom, GoToWebinar, whatever platform. There's so many of them.
Yeah, exactly. So for the community group, you would basically do the same thing to set up a group, except for hidden. You don't need to hide it. It's good if people find it and they might join it, even if they've never heard of you before and they, you know, got interested. Then why not let them join it? Let them find it on their own. But that is for the community. But for the private that you want to create the video, the live event, as Alice said, make sure it's hidden. All right. In the fourth video, I will be showing you how to set up a private and schedule a private live event on Facebook. And the steps are basically in step 2, you would need to click on post. And once you click on post, a window pops up. You just choose create a live event. I'll show you that in the video. In the third step, you would name your event, upload a cover, add a description, and schedule a date. And step 4, I'll walk you through the event settings and the stream settings. These are 2 different settings that could be a little bit complicated, and I walk you through the process. The stream settings might be a little bit more complicated. So I'll walk you through the process step by step, because the stream setting talks about that latency time. When you interact with people, sometimes the video, it appears like your lips are moving when you're not talking, and then you're talking, your lips aren't moving. So this stream setting, I'll talk about how you can actually avoid some of the problems that may arise. And step 4, we will show you how to, or sorry, step 5, we will show you how to get the link to the event and get you ready to go live, basically. All right, Alice, I think this is your portion. I can still control the slides. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I was looking for the answer to someone's question because I didn't know, because I've done Facebook Lives, long ones, like I've never run out of time. So I just Googled it to check. And Karen, pardon me, I need stronger glasses. It's 8 hours. So you can have an 8-hour-long Facebook Live. So I think no one's going to run out unless you're doing some kind of marathon.
Yeah.
All right. So let me also just pull up. I thought I was done for the day. I forgot.
Well, there isn't much left.
I know. I just want to make sure I grab my notes because I don't want to miss something that I wanted to say. It might not be. 1 second. Aha. And I'm working off my phone this time too. So let me do that. So how is that? Like if the technology is like, it will be totally outlined for you in the videos. It goes step by step. So if it's like, I don't even know, that just flew by so fast, you have all the time in the world to like watch the steps, get it all done for yourself. So
yeah, I actually have one more thing to say. So
you're very good at breaking that down. That is not I'm not good.
Thank you. So if you watch the video and you have any questions and you would like to ask me, just put it in the comment section on YouTube. That way I'll attend to it much faster, because I know I have a little bit of a problem to get involved in the Facebook community, and I do apologize for it, and I will make some time for it. But on YouTube, I will answer your question if you put it down below each video, and then that way I'll know. I'll give you an answer to it, and maybe people have similar
yeah, that'll make it useful for everybody. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. All right. So thank you. All right. So I would like to say that I hope you found this session is a good and detailed overview. So we've talked about building your audience. It's an ongoing thing you're going to do every day. And I'm not sure if you could save the chat, but if Ron is still here, I believe it ends up in our account later when the recording's done. Ron can download the chat and put it in, and then have Emily, we have all these moving parts. Emily upload it to the members area for us. Yeah, and so then also being a great salesperson and crafting an offer. So we can't make you a great salesperson in an 1.5-hour session, but we've given you a lot of the tools and extra guidance that, you can go and read those guides. You can have those swipe files. We've given you like what you need to start practicing and developing that. And you also have an understanding of the assets that need to be created and the software you can use to make it happen.
Yeah. Next
oh
slide.
My goodness. Sorry, I'm having.
All right. So moving forward and your homework. So before this lesson, you should have already selected your topic and drafted a title, set a date and announced it. To-dos before next week, you need to decide on your audience building strategies and create a daily schedule for yourself. Secondly, you need to make sure you have a way to grow your list and build your community, and make sure as many people as possible join both the email list and the community. Third step would be to schedule your live event. with a finalized title, so you can give those details instantly to people who sign up. And last thing, you would need to craft and set up your offer, including payment and automated emails.
Yes. And as a reminder, the resources we put together to help you with your homework, we did talk about them, but just to remind you, if you're feeling, oh my gosh, this is a lot, you do have the worksheet and checklist for this lesson that will help. The worksheet will help you brainstorm different things. The checklist will make sure you remember all the things you need to do. We have the sales page and free offer templates, including the thank you page and the thank you email. And those page templates, they're in a document, right? So they're just, you would look at the elements and the different parts. You can copy and paste the text, or you can also, we included in that resource list we gave you and in the chat here, the links to the Aweber template. So you can actually just click and add it right into your Aweber account. But in order to use those fully, you're using their landing page creator. And you can, if anybody's wondering, when you make the landing pages in Aweber, it shows on an Aweber domain, but you can actually customize. You could put, if you want to put your own domain, you can do that as well. And then the persuasion guide that you guys should all read. I really recommend it. If you already know about, the different parts of copyright, elements of copywriting, then you might want to skip the first part of the guide, but the second part of the guide, I think you'll find useful because it's more about being persuasive in all the content you create. And then get those swipe files printed out, keep them beside you. And if you do end up doing that and you find that you are referring to them all the time, let me know, because I swear it made such a big difference for me. And then the journal and planner will also be useful. Alice, add some thoughts, it says on the screen. Okay, I better add some thoughts, because there are different sheets also to help you think about your audience, building your audience. Go and have a look at those and print out the sheets that would be useful for you. And the tech help, right? The step-by-step videos. So you guys have what you need to do it. So, and to, if you like I said, you don't have to take notes now. We've got all the tools for you.
Yeah. And so next week, what to expect for next week? Our topic is going to be about creating a buzz, putting together and delivering your simple but high impact course with printables. We'll cover creating buzz for your course, create and finalize your presentation, making your high value action oriented printables, live session tips, even if you're nervous. And
we're experts at being nervous, so we can totally give you.
Honestly, being nervous is now I take it as a sign of a good thing, because when I'm not nervous, I tend to screw up, but when I'm nervous, I tend to take things more seriously. I'm sometimes even nervous before my my soccer beer league or a game in soccer beer league, which is not very competitive. So being nervous is part of being human, so don't let that stop you. I was nervous before this presentation, and I think I still did a decent job. And
yes, don't they have sound somewhere in here? I don't even know where it works, but I think I could do like a clap sound if I want, because I think if I clapped in real life.
Yeah. There is a button for reaction, but I can't see it now.
Kevin, I bet I can guess what team you're a fan of too.
All right, so we're at the Q&A
okay.
and brainstorming. We'll be taking your questions, and any feedback would be helpful. So if you have any questions, just please add it to the chat, and we'll get to it.
Yeah, all right. Well, I guess we taught them so well that they're great stuff. Thank you. And we had a few thank yous earlier also. Will you, and Barb says, can you also talk about including recipes next week? Perhaps part of, you mean like actual food recipes? Like, what is it about recipes that you're wondering? Like, what would you find challenging about putting that into a printable? Because what we usually do is very highly usable documents, not necessarily like, I mean, they're usable, they'll look nice, but not like, I wouldn't say the printables that we're showing you are absolutely beautiful. So I don't know, Barb, if you want to clarify exactly what you mean about the recipe thing. And we have Trish here. Trish, the recipe PLR, well, now no longer running that business, but for a long time. And Trish is very detailed on all the taking photos, testing recipes, like amazing.
Just a little input on,
but you're able to do it.
Yeah, just a little feedback on the recipes. I don't know, maybe infographics works perfectly. Like, I don't know if you're asking whether like your recipes need to like how they need to be presented, but infographics,
that's an idea too, right?
Yeah, infographics, you can include it as a bonus to one of your whatever you're teaching or whatever you're offering.
Yeah, I know. Like when you go to a website and you got a recipe on all this extra stuff, and not just the stuff that they put before the recipe, even when you go down to the recipe, there's still a lot of extra stuff. I love this infographic idea, actually. For people who are visual, and it just breaks down the steps very like simply.
Yeah, because I am interested in finding like easy way of cooking and finding recipes that I can just do it quickly, and I'll find that infographics sometimes do help. Whenever I find them, there are people that do like different reels on Facebook, quick recipe, and they offer a sign up. So in the description section, they tell you, if you want the recipe to this, you can just check in the description section. And when you click on it, you go to their opt-in offer, and now they get me as one of their people in their email list. So that's definitely something that you could do. Combine it with Facebook Reels to create a buzz, just like something quickly. Right now, short content is being consumed, much more than other contents. So you can use that to get people by creating an opt-in offer and add an infographic. And this could be used for anything. It doesn't have to be for food or personal development. You can literally choose any topic and just provide infographics. If you're a coach teaching people how to exercise, that could be something. Create a short video on how to exercise. And if you want these exact exercises plus 10 more, sign up on the email list, and you'll get the basically infographic to it or whatever. So these are some of the strategies that you can deploy. Nice.
Okay. Yeah. Like lots of different ways. And it doesn't just, like what you're saying, doesn't always necessarily just recipes. All these different ways to show people processes and stuff is useful. Also, Gail has two great questions. One is related to the course and one's not. So I'm going to do the first one. Is the artwork in back of Yusuf created by one of you? It's very cool. Some of it is by me, some by my daughter, and one is by Yusuf and I. The messy one in the corner, that's a collaborative effort.
This one is together, yeah.
Yes, and I was trying to get Yusuf to let go of his need to control, because when we've made paint, actually the one we made together and he was in charge of looks way better. It's at his place. And then I said, no, you just have to let me do what I want. And then that's what happened.
I don't know. I just think this one looks too girly when I'm standing here. It's like, I don't know.
No, it's art. Art is art.
Yeah.
I know, right?
All right. And the other great question is about the course. And because I think I'm going to show it now. Can I be the host again, Yusuf? Because Gail is wondering about the checklist and the worksheets. And I think if I understand your question.
It's just I have everything printed out in front of me, and as you guys started talking, I'm like, oh, my liver, where are they? Where are they?
Okay.
I'm shuffling all the papers, but then a couple things said lesson 2, so I wasn't really sure where I was. And then I saw that you were kind of following an outline, but then I had all these places that I could have filled in lesson 2 on the worksheet. And so now a lot of that is blank except the first page. I started filling in those.
Okay. Well, you're a good student. Thank you. All right. So I am, can you give me the host? Can you turn
Yeah,
me
I think
into
I
the
did.
host? Oh yeah, you did. You
Yep.
did. Okay, a second ago it wasn't there. So I'm confused. Now let me make sure I have the resource list open, worksheet and checklist.
Yeah, I have both the fast and simple lesson. I do have the resource list. I started printing out the closings and a whole bunch of stuff, but then my computer
Yeah, there's a lot.
hard time, so I have to wait till I get off the phone to try to figure what happened with that. Calls to action I got. That's okay. That's all good. I can
Yeah.
go over that after. But it was just the 2 lesson 2 pages. I was just trying to fill in the blanks, attract your audience. I was taking all the notes, but then I looked over and it does have a lot of the notes duplicated that you were actually explaining. And then I guess I started following on because I only had the first page on that filled out and then how to build your community. But before we got to that, how to build your community, you were still talking about like a lot of stuff that was on the first page. So I was like,
Okay, so are we talking, can you see now there's a worksheet on the left, there's a checklist on the right?
yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so what should I look at first and where should I go? So we did divide it, it's like in the 4 parts. And it doesn't say part, like on the slideshow, we did put part 1, part 2, part 3, but it's like the 4 different parts, right?
Okay.
So attract your audience.
Okay, so even if we stayed with attract your audience on the where there's a format for you where you would read off of, and then the one that says worksheet, creation worksheet,
Yep.
attract your audience, it never stops until craft your offer skills. It's so I felt like I should have been filling out a lot of stuff in there. But did that come from the first page of?
Oh, I see. Okay, so wait. Craft your offer.
Because where should I have been following and taking notes in? I thought I was going to be.
I would say this isn't for taking notes.
Oh, okay.
And maybe, you can use it for that. I think it's for you after you've gone through this, or even as you do it. It's just questions that will help you figure out. That's why we have the different questions, not necessarily that you're going to take notes on each section. It's just to get your thinking process going, your creativity, whatever it is, and then that, like, if you, and you don't have to fill it out either. Like, it depends on how you work. Some people like.
I see, but so that is a worksheet for us, for our personal,
yes.
Whatever our company is that we want to promote and our niche and all that stuff. Okay, our niche. Okay.
And it just asks you all the questions. The checklist kind of a checklist has like everything written.
Okay. Yeah, it did look like it once I saw
just so you're not missing anything.
Okay, you're beautiful. All right, well, that helps a lot.
Okay, good.
Was a little confused. Okay, I'm sure I'm the only one.
No, and that's why I'm glad you asked. That sounds like.
Barb had a follow-up question. If I include the recipes, do they need to be all original or just the info before and after the recipe? I have some original recipes and was wondering how original, unique they'll need to be. Is it a good recipe? I would ask. If it's a good recipe, then just keep it original.
I know you mean, and I think, are you?
Or the design? Is it the illustration?
I'm trying to think, or are you talking about adapting other people's recipes? That's what I'm not clear on, but it kind of sounds like they're her own recipes. So, but if you're talking about adapting recipes, then I believe it's like the ingredient, like the basics are that the ingredients list when it comes to copyright is the ingredients list is not copyrightable, and Trisha's going to tell me if I'm wrong or not, so I'm glad she's here. But the process is the process of how you tell people to put it together, that can be copyrighted. Now, I wouldn't just go and That doesn't mean you go and copy someone's ingredients list. I mean, test out the recipes. Sometimes you can, like, if you're so, but I don't know that that's the question either. I think I still might not know. Hey, but Barb, oh, here, I think I have some PLR recipes. Yeah, if they're PLR, hopefully they are, and if you got them from Trish, they are tested and like ready to publish as they are, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
If you have any more questions, don't hesitate to add them here. And if you watch the videos that are made and then you come up with more questions, then just, as I said, add it into in the comment section, and I will get to them as soon as I can.
Yeah, on YouTube, that's a perfect place for it, because then it becomes this living kind of document where we can make
Absolutely.
improve it, help people with different angles of what they need. Awesome. All right. Well, I think maybe we're finishing up here. Yes, that was the question. Okay. Yes. Yeah. That's the basic rules. Like if you Google like, you know, if you're in the United States, and it's pretty much, as far as I know, most countries it's the same. But at copyright.gov, I think is the website, it'll tell you that about the ingredients list can't be copyright, but the process is. Yeah. All right.
Thank you,
Oh, Gail, we're
Elsa.
excited for what you put together. Yeah, and if you guys are making progress and you don't even really have a question, but you just want to brag, or if you don't like the idea of bragging, it's about getting accountability. Come in and show us a screenshot of something that you could share, or come to the group and just tell us, and then we will cheer you on, and then you will also have this accountability to keep going to the next step. So please do share what you're working on. We'd love to see it.
Totally.
All right. All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll see you in the group or on YouTube in the meantime.
Absolutely. Make sure you watch the videos and give me any questions. And I'll see you next week.